Donald Trump is trying to throw this election. Donald Trump is trying to lose. He has to be. He just unveiled literally one of the most hilariously terrible ads I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, so I'm going to put up the ad here and then we'll discuss. Okay. That's a funny ass ad. It is. But it's terrible. It's terrible. That is a terrible. It's so bad. It's hilarious. What? Okay, I don't think that's playing. Obviously, it's not going to play on TV, but they posted it to the Trump Twitter, the War Room. It's the Trump War Room. It's like, yeah, it's affiliated with the campaign. They literally put this out like a couple days ago, and it's indicative of their entire strategy. What they're trying to do is paint Joe Biden as this Trojan horse radical leftist. He's a Trojan horse for the radical leftist. You see AOC and Bernie and Ilhan Omar. They're so scared of Ilhan Omar. They're so scared of her. Whenever she opens her mouth, Muslim. Dude, what the? I can't, bro. It's a terrible strategy. That's their entire strategy. The Trump campaign press secretary went on Fox News the other day and was like, Joe Biden is a radical leftist who wants to defund the police. No, he actually wants to fund the police. He literally said, I want to fund the police in response to a question about defunding the police. Joe Biden does not want to defund the police. I wish he was a Trojan horse for the quote unquote radical left. I wish he was a Trojan horse that was going to bring in all these progressives to the cabinet and enact real progressive change. I wish he wanted Medicare for all. I wish he wanted tuition-free college and a Green New Deal and a living wage. I wish he wanted those things. He says he wants some of those things, but he's telling donors that nothing will fundamentally change. So no, I don't goddamn believe him. He's not a progressive. This guy's bringing in people like David Summers. Was it Larry Summers? David Summers. This guy is a warhorse for neoliberal economic policy. He was there in the Obama administration when they were engineering the Wall Street bailout and the extension of the Bush tax cuts. He's bringing in economic policies like that. He's talking about bringing in Jamie Dimon. He's talking about bringing in Mike Bloomberg. Joe Biden is not a progressive. Why are we acting like he is? He's a corrupt neoliberal hack and has been for 50 years of his service in Washington. Why are we? This guy wrote the crime. No. And it's a terrible strategy, Don. It's a terrible strategy. You're going to paint him as a radical leftist. Nobody's going to believe you. Nobody believes you right now. And you've been trying to do this for 2 months straight. He's giving the election to Biden. And it's hilarious to watch. That's a terrible ad. Joe Biden's not a radical left. He doesn't want anything to do with the left. He wants nothing to do with it. He's putting up the middle finger to us. He's not going to have a progressive VP. He's not even going to bring it. If he brings in a true progressive to the cabinet besides Elizabeth Warren, which is like a half-footed progressive at the very best, I'd be so surprised. It's a terrible strategy. Okay. So, and then this is part of, that's just one flank of the even worse strategy that he's implemented in other areas. He's acting like Corona just doesn't exist. He's acting like the COVID-19 pandemic, this just doesn't happen. We're going to go fully ahead and reopen the schools wearing a mask. These are expensive and ridiculous guidelines for children trying to go to school. We shouldn't have wear masks. What? This is his strategy. He's going to act like Corona doesn't exist. He's going to act like this economic crisis doesn't exist. He's not enacting basic reforms that the rest of the developed world has done. And now the pandemic's waging out of control. Contact tracing's out the window. Out the window. A lockdown out the window. All that is out the window because this guy is asleep at the wheel. Meanwhile, approvals are plummeting for Donald Trump. This strategy is not working of completely ignoring the COVID crisis, of painting Joe Biden as a radical leftist, trying to seed division on the racial unrest that's happening across the country, calling BLM a hate symbol, saying once the looting starts, the shooting starts. All that crap. It's not working, Don. It's not fucking working. So why are you sitting out here doing this? Are you trying to win? I'm genuinely wondering if he's trying to win. But I think the problem for him is that he is so far up the ass of Fox News establishment Republican propaganda at this point that he genuinely thinks that the culture war is how you're going to win. Because for him, trying to get to the left of Joe Biden on economic policies now is out the window. It's out the window, trying to attack him on trade. Joe Biden actually took advantage of the fact that Donald Trump is no longer the guy for jobs, no longer the guy for trade, no longer the guy for bringing back American jobs. He actually Joe Biden put out this Buy American plan. It's empty words, but Joe Biden is now firmly positioning himself to the left of Donald Trump on economic policy. So that's now out the window. So now I guess he has to do this culture war crap. He has to try to paint him as the radical leftist. Joe Biden wants to defund the police. It's a terrible strategy. He's plummeting. And part of me is really excited to see it because I am scared every day that this guy is president of the United States. We're driving off of a cliff and he's asleep at the wheel. So I guess part of me is excited about this, but it's also hilarious to see, dude. This guy, it's like he's not trying to win. This is a terrible strategy. Joe Biden's a radical leftist, a Trojan horse for AOC and Ilhan Omar. Dude, what's wrong with you? That's a terrible strategy. Terrible strategy. His approvals are plummeting. Already on the virus, 2/3 of the country disapproves of his job on handling the coronavirus. 2/3 of the country disapproves of his job handling the COVID crisis. 2/3. That's terrible. 2/3 of the country disapproves of his divisive policy on racial unrest right now. 2/3 of the country. His approvals have gone down to like the high 30s. It's one of the lowest marks of his presidency, probably going to continue to plummet as he's asleep at the wheel and cases continue to surge across the country. Dude, he's going to flame out. If he continues this, he's going to flame out and he will lose spectacularly. Georgia is now in play. Texas, Arizona. These are not liberal bastions, dude. They're now in play. This dude could lose and spectacularly. And it will be beautiful to watch. But we also have to keep in mind that Joe Biden's not some progressive bastion either. So work is still needing to be done. Plain and simple.